About this when you go back to your deliberations about the distrust that has created a breach in the relationships. In a natural disaster, there's a process through which it's created to address the natural disaster. But one of the critical things that's left out in this process in a man-made disaster where the trust is broken is an opportunity to mend those relationships so that we can move toward a resolution. You've heard the concerns about what might happen in our community in the future, and I mean the immediate future. We're talking about the summer. If you remember, when there is crisis and there's devastation, there's also a lot of other things that happen in communities that can create greater devastation. And if we're not able, through some process that can be put in place, to have conversations, real conversations. You've heard people thank you today for coming. And not so much because we haven't had other people come, but because you are listening, even though it's a short time. But we hope you will understand how valuable it is for people to have the opportunity to express themselves about the issues that they're facing, because it is an internal issue, and if it isn't expressed in a positive way, we know what the negative ways can lead to. So I ask you, as you're deliberating, think about putting something in place that will allow us an opportunity, that will ensure the opportunity for continued conversations. We had at the University of Flint, Michigan, had a water crisis course, and in that course, when we talked about to the participants about the man-made disaster versus the natural disaster, that emotional impact was one of the greatest things, and you can hear it. You can't just talk about the water. When you talk about the water, you're going to talk about many, many other issues. So when we go to the meetings that are designed to strictly talk about the water, all of these other issues will come up because it's water related. So we hope that you will really pay sincere attention to what you will offer us as resolutions in order to put things in place that will allow continual implementation of opportunities to talk about these very difficult issues so that we can rebuild the relationships, rebuild the trust, and develop the resolutions that are necessary for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
You know, this is the only circus that I've been to that you didn't have pony rides. That's the reason I brought my granddaughter.
Commissioners, any questions at all? Co-Chair Damascus.
This question really is a question of the comment to Jackson, not about the ways to the child. A young person like you having to face this for no fault of your own. Are you receiving the services that you need? I mean, what is not being done?
First, information. I have to speak myself. Before anything, I had to seek myself the information. I was working at the stop sometimes. I hate to say it, but I cannot live like this. Most distribution sites are not even, I don't know about the citations later, but the communities, like the churches and stuff like that, it was during the day, 9:30 to 12:30. When you're working 9 to 5, you can't make it. When you have one car to move, you can't make it. To get food, it's the most embarrassing thing I'm gonna have to say. When you don't have food in your house and you want to get food, but the places where they're providing free food, you can't get them because it's during working hours.
I'm sorry.
Commissioners, any additional questions? Thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. Levy, can you please align us with the next three to come and testify?
Yolanda Ferguson, Verona Terry, and Clay Flint. Yolanda was Figueroa.
It's Figueroa. Am I the only one?
Clay Flint. Oh, I'm sorry. Verona Terry. Kevin Kelly.
Okay. Mr. Levin, would you like to administer the oath, please?
Right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are to say will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you. Please start. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. And I would like to thank all of you for coming here and giving us this opportunity. I feel that this is like the last cry for the city of Flint. You probably don't see a lot of people here because we're tired and a lot of people are sick. This is almost like a Katrina. If you were to drive around Flint, it would be like a war zone, a bomb on the east, west, north, south. I mean, just to take a video or drive. There's abandoned houses. I mean, it's like a war zone, like a Katrina. It reminds me of a Katrina. And it wasn't like that a few years ago, but the water situation crisis didn't help it any. We have the highest, they've closed grocery stores here. We have a lot of grocery stores that were closed, Myers, Kroger's, people that could go to those stores and get water, groceries. On top of the water is making it hard. If GM and the fire trucks parts were being corroded, the fire trucks were not, nothing was mentioned about that, but their equipment was being corroded. If you can imagine the refrigerators, the hot water heaters being corroded, can you imagine what that's doing to a person's body? The people of Flint, we're tired, we're upset, yes, we're angry. One media person said that we were angry. If you had your children, if you had legionnaires, if you had people dying and you know, and this is just what some of the things, this is just a little tip of what you're hearing. There's more. When you go to these fire stations to get water, when you hear the stories of the Flint people, they had, some of them even had legionnaires, but they didn't die, but they have failing kidneys. They have, their body is being affected. They can't work. But I blame some of the leaders. I blame the leaders. I mean, 2 years after this, if this was, I mean, is it racist or not? It is racist. If this was in a white area, in a rich area, there would have been something done. I mean, let's get real here. We know the truth. And you're our last cry. I mean, what else do we have? How many more people have to die? I mean, what else has to happen for Flint, Michigan to be heard? They've been on the news internationally. I mean, the world is seeing what is being done here in Flint, Michigan. What is it going to take for the people of Flint, Michigan to be heard? Yes, we're angry, we're upset. I mean, if it was in your house, in your town, wouldn't that be the same for you? And then for the government to be allowed to go on and no criminal charges and taking this long? I mean, let's get real and truthful. I'm a Christian. I love God, and God loves His people. He does see what's going on. He does see. And I believe that this time now is a cry for Flint, Michigan. And I believe that the answers are going to come. I really believe that God, through you all, can help Flint, Michigan. And I thank you for coming. I thank you. The elderly have also been taxed. They had pensions that were taxed by Snyder in the very beginning. On top of the water crisis, we are the highest. According to Val Washington, the judge, our rates went up in 2011 if you look at the records. And it has been not just water, but sewer. Something needs to be done now. We're tired. We're having meetings, hearings. How many more? And we know that monies are coming. And where is the money? It's not going into infrastructure. It's not going into the inner cities. So please, drive around Flint. Please do that. Please do that for the citizens here of Flint, and I thank you for coming.
Thank you, Ms. Figueroa. Mr. Kelly?
Yeah. I don't know if I have a lot of faith in you people because I spoke to you many times about sidewalks not being cut in this city. Over on Miller Road, our shopping districts, they did work there in '07, they put one bus stop that's accessible. I came to you people, you did nothing, wrote me a letter telling me you didn't find it. I did another one at the farmer's market to the bus station. You told me go the other way where the sidewalk leads this way and I gotta go 3 blocks the other way where I could just cross from the farmer's market. You did nothing. Last year, you wanna know if they had contempt for us? Last year when after I filed and said, no, let's try it again, and it did 2 years, I got the same letter, nothing. But after I got the second letter from you in August, Mayor Walling came to a block from my house and put a brand new curb at 8th Avenue and Wolcott. A brand new curb. You wonder if they have contempt for citizens of Flint? Yeah. I wonder if any of you know what it's like to be thirsty and want to drink, but you say, I gotta wait till somebody can bring me some water. You know? Where you're waking up just dying of thirst, you know, but you know you can't drink the water. You know, that's what it was like during this last 2 years, you know. Nobody bought me water until January 21st, you know. And then I want to speak how we got into this mess. You know, we were about $13 million in debt when Mayor Walling came in. But we had 2 lawsuits against the city of Flint. One was by the police, the white police officers of Flint, because the previous Mayor Williamson had appointed a committee called the Citizens Task Bureau to deal with probably the ministers or the black preachers of the city. So it was all black police. So the white police sued. And Walden came in and settled that suit for almost $7 million, over $6 million. Every cop got an additional, every white cop got an additional $45,000 to $75,000. And the other part that got us the other $7 million was from Genesee Tower. So we were $25 million in debt, and the state came in and took over our city. They then going to leave us with the Caragami water debt of $100 million. But let me tell you something. Flint owned 3 acres of land on Lake Huron that they came in and sold their property. You know, we own that property. That water plant, the pump station is built on, and they sold that to the bond holders to Wall Street. You know, and we've been persecuted by these people. And if you think the mayor doesn't have contempt for the people when he hit that switch, come and look at 8th Avenue and Stevenson. See the new curb you put out when you denied me the right to have fair access from the farmer's market to the bus station. And it's only 3 blocks away, so go take a look at the walkway through the bus station. From the closest part of the bus station, there's a walkway through the farmer's market parking lot where they put a brand new curb. And like always, you guys did nothing. So shame on you. Are you here to hear our stories, or are you here to get our stories so you can have your defense? You know, that's what I want to know. Do you really care, you know? But it was white privilege that put us here, you know what I mean? And if you don't think that causes racism, you know, and classism, you know, and I could say a lot more, but, you know, you guys, the whole state, everybody in government has failed the people of Flint, you know? And while, you know, I got friends whose 2-year-old kid just cries and wants to be helped, you know? He doesn't speak. Can you imagine what the parents would feel, you know, if that was your child? You know, they're still in denial. They're praying their kid's going to be all right. Who's going to, you know, and like these people are saying, this money, you know, that is all coming into Flint. Ain't none of it helping any of us. We're getting help from Atlanta and all these people that care, you know. But the state has failed us, and Snyder, he can't tell me he didn't know. We know. We knew. We weren't stupid. My sister would bring me water 10 miles every couple of days, you know, and I'd run out and have to wait, staying in bed thirsty, my mouth completely dry, just not able to drink. And then when you finally have to give up and you go and get the water, you just know you're killing it. You see your friends with rashes, and you know your friends who are so poor, and they don't have cars. Nobody's going to bring them water because they can walk, you know what I mean? And nobody's helping any of the poor people who don't have cars to bring their water to them. You know, there's a lot of people in Flint who don't have transportation, you know?
Mr.
And
Kelly,
they
Mr.
let us
Kelly,
know.
I just want to make sure Mr. Clinton has some time so that she can offer her testimony. Thank you very, very much. And after Ms. McClinton, commissioners, if they have questions, we'll ask them. So I'm sorry, thank you, Mr.
No, it's all right. I was done.
What we're hearing today is just a slice of what's going on out there. And that's why we walk around here with shirts that say Flint Lives Matter. To be quite frank with you, I almost didn't come here, and I think we're getting tired of hearings around here. We done had all kind of manner of town hall meetings, joint senate committee, Channel 25 town hall. We tired of talking in meetings. We want some action. General Motors was allowed 6 months after the switch to go back to the Detroit water system in October of 2014. We didn't get to switch back until a year later. But our council in March of 2015 voted to go back to the Detroit River. But because we're under emergency manager dictatorship, it did not happen. So we got a democracy problem along with our water problem. Because when the citizens got educated and enthralled enough to demand change, nobody listened to them because our democracy had been stolen from us. So emergency managers' laws is just as guilty as the poison water. And I wish it was somewhere in your legislative acts to file a charge and join the sugar law firm in suing the state of Michigan for taking our democracy away from us. Now, right now, we know that over half, you're looking for civil rights? Over half of the citizens in the state of Michigan, 52% of the African American population in the state of Michigan lives under emergency managers. Flint, one of the highest rates of poverty in the nation, over 40% poor. We have a race factor. We have a class factor. Flint lives matter. I would like to see this commission, and I'm tired of coming to these hearings. I would like to see this commission sue the state of Michigan, and in particular, after hearing his testimony and that young woman, the commission, I would love to see, sue the state of Michigan for not implementing the Medicaid expansion that was designated for the city of Flint on March 3rd, 2014. It hasn't been implemented yet. You heard the young woman talking about her needs. That was declared, I'm going to sum up. March 3rd, 2016, the federal government said expand Medicaid for the citizens of Flint. It has not happened yet. Will you sue the state of Michigan and the Department of Human Services for not being urgent in taking care of our people? I'm done.
Commissioners, any questions of our current testifiers? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. The next group of three who we will bring in to swear in are
Sue Quintanilla, Otrude Mayo, and Danny Kennedy.
state your names, please, just quickly? I'm sorry, could you state your name, please?
Sue Quintanilla.
Okay, and...
Did you want me to stand to state my name? Hello, my name is Danny Kennedy Jr.
Trafina Clark. Is Trafina Clark here? George Grundy the second.
Thank you. Dan, I think you want to swear in, and then I think you need to swear in, or did we do that the first time?
Yeah, I think it's still the two words, our name's interpreter, so. Oh, I'm sorry. Then I don't need this one. Witnesses first. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you offer today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do so swear.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will interpret accurately, completely, and impartially, follow all official guidelines established by the state and this commission for legal interpreting and or translating, adhere to your professional and ethical obligations, and discharge all the duties and obligations of legal interpreting and translating? I do so swear.
Okay, welcome, thank you. I guess where the microphone is typically where we start, so please testify. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Sue Quintanilla, and I'm a teacher in the Flint area for the LEP students, the limited English language students. And I'm here to speak in response to the crisis of the quality of service and the quality of communication that the state has given to our residents here. In reference to what Mr. Reyes spoke of earlier, the fear and paranoia that exists in the Hispanic community is real. I have spoken to a lot of our parents, and they have told me that they will not open the door for fear of the stranger and what might happen to them and their family in regards to their legal status or the effect of what could happen. But when the governor came out with his recognition of the crisis here on January 5th, it took another 2 weeks before any kind of information was given to the Hispanic community. Yes, the social media was prevalent, and we in the community were spreading as much information as we could about the information that was available to our citizens and the types of services that would be available. But the people in our Hispanic community did not really receive that information until January 19th, when Univision first aired the information and then came to the Flint area to interview the people on January 24th. Within hours of them airing that program, Hispanic communities throughout the nation, especially in the Midwest, Kalamazoo, Detroit high schools, and Chicago were mobilized to recruit and get the items that were needed, not only the water, but all the other items that people needed, such as filters, baby wipes, etc. Get them mobilized and had trucks, trailers moving into Flint area to have them distributed to the Hispanic community. But it took that community, the Hispanic community from other areas, to service the Hispanic community here in the Flint area. When we asked about flyers and information that were available from the government, we were sent this information, and yes, it was translated into Spanish, but it was just very generic. And the information said, for more information, for details, where you can get these types of services, dial 211. So, yo, como una persona que puede hablar dos idiomas, yo empecé a marcar 211, pero tuve que esperar como 30 segundos, hacia casi un minuto, para entender lo que iban a decir. Y de repente nos dijeron, de repente pararon y no dijeron nada. Y después de como 5 segundos empezaron a hablar otra vez. And then, if you would like English, mark 1. But in reverse, okay? They said, and then it would to mark 2. So what I'm saying is, there was a menu in English, but it was a very long menu in English, and then it stopped. There was no voice, no anything. So you would think that they were hanging up on you, or that the message was over. And then the message returned. Dial this if you want to speak Spanish. So then I did that, because I can speak 2 languages, so I know what they were saying. So then when I did dial that extension, una persona que empezó a hablar así que casi no entendí nada. It was like a second grader reading, and we couldn't understand. Anybody who understood the language had to really, really listen to try and understand what was being said. So, number 1, the menu is faulty because it doesn't give you the option to go into another language right away. Number 2, the translation is faulty because it is not a native speaker, and of course, if it's not a native speaker, it's very difficult to understand what the person is saying. And I'm not saying it's a dialect difference or anything like that. I'm just saying that quality of the service is minimal to the Hispanic community in regards to everything else. And I'm not just referring to the Hispanic community, because there's a lot of Arab people that are in our community, also and a lot of Vietnamese people in our community, and they don't have any options at all in Arabic or Vietnamese. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Kennedy.
Hello, my name is Danny. I've been living in the Kettering University area for, it's one of the most exposed areas for the past 3 years. I do want to let you know that I am a teacher's aide at the Michigan School for the Deaf. I have 4 deaf children, and it's kind of hard for me to make these comments because I don't want to blame the school for anything, but I want to make sure that the information is clear and that everyone understands. We've had lead in the water. Many people knew, but access for deaf individuals is typically last in line. And I'm used to that kind of growing up. We have this common experience of people talking around us, but we never know what's going on. And I felt like that was the same thing going on here in our community. How did the water crisis affect our community? For example, my children are deaf, and right now my son has a gastrointestinal problem that he's dealing with, and it could be the water. We suspect the water. We asked the doctor, and they said it isn't. We did have all 4 of our children tested for lead, and then they did test positive. And they think that maybe that will make them more susceptible to other conditions. And now we don't know where to go, where to get access, and we're struggling through that process. Our voices have not been heard, and that has been a problem for a long time. We haven't had access through American Sign Language. I was previously buying bottles of water, and I didn't even know that they had free bottles of water until I went to the fire station. And then I was driving a far distance to get there. And then a couple of weeks later, I realized there was a distribution site just a couple blocks down from my house. So that information didn't get to me. It's affected my wife. She has rashes all over her body. They've given her particular creams, and they still haven't really helped. It's a self-esteem issue. For everyone going out swimming or going swimming with the kids, people were avoiding that because we feel not great about how our bodies look. And people are having
And now she's holding on for dear life. Her kids can see she may have broke her knees. They still love her though she looks like she's attacked by killer bees. I'm allergic. Proof you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are. This is the moment I knew his future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Look at this guy. What are you gonna do, kid? Go home. It's hopeless. Yeah.
Feel not great about how our bodies look, and people are having health issues. How are we going to address that? How are we supposed to discuss that if if everyone's accountable? So that's an issue that we have as well. Also, my son, who is having that gastrointestinal issue, is missing school days. So this is interfering with his learning, and that's not fair to him. He's a brilliant young boy. And this sickness is now getting in the way of his learning capability. We went to the Michigan School for the Deaf, and my wife in particular went before the actual national attention was on Flint about the water and notified them that we suspected something was wrong with the water. And the school said, no, we had it tested and there was nothing wrong. They actually posted a document saying that on their door. And then when we had the national news come in, they removed that sign. And they didn't want to mislead any information or anyone, and that's why they avoid telling people when we were kind of the whistleblowers.
All right.
And they were accepting donations, and that started to raise even more suspicion. Now you have to understand that our children sometimes live in the dormitory at the Michigan School for the Deaf, and they have been exposed to lead. They've had to replace all of the plumbing there because they found lead in the shower heads, in the faucets, and that was really a year later after we started complaining as a parent for our children. We didn't know about the free water filters as well. Someone told us that they were providing it. Water is the basis of our life. As a Native American family, we are bound to water. So for 3 and 4 years, we didn't know about these filtration systems. We knew that the taste was not great. And I would say that because of that, we have reduced our water intake. Now we have this psychological issue of thinking, is this water good for us or not? So do we trust the water? Even if it's recycled, are those bottles refilled from some tap somewhere? These are all thoughts in our minds.
Excuse me, just in the interest of time, if is a way to wrap up so that I can get to Mr. Grundy, and then the commission will have opportunity to ask questions, if that's okay with you, Mr. Kennedy.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. I just want to, typically because of an interpretation, it takes a little bit longer. So I do want to wrap up my comments. Is that all right?
Only that it could come at the time that Mr. Grundy has, or the commissioners have to ask questions of you afterward.
Do I have an accommodated time?
Let him finish.
You accommodate for the deaf.
Exactly. Thank you all. Of course, I had someone come to knock at my door, and they wanted to come in and test my water system or test a percentage. This person is a stranger. There was no interpreter there. Where was my accommodation there? Why would I let someone who doesn't speak my same language into my house? Are they from Flint? Are they from the Department of Works? Where are they? What are they doing here? So that's one of my biggest fears, is that safety issue of letting other people into my home. The lack of knowledge, absolutely. Communication is not widespread. Maybe a tiny bit, but it's nowhere near the wildfire that is the information that hearing people get. So, of the children, I think of the children, I thank you for coming, I thank the interpretation, and I hope you hear my comments.
Mr. Grundy, please.
Should I read the documents that I wrote? Because I wrote a lot. I won't be too sidetracked. Thank you for calling me up here. My name is George Grundy II, born and raised in Drinkless Water. I have a home on 608 West Court Street, which I have a nonprofit out of that home also called Veterans Renown, which I have about 50 tons of water sitting in my parking lot, open to the whole community. So 24 hours a day, anybody in the community can come get water as they need it. There's no ID or anything needed, because it's water that's been given to the city from people that care about us, and it's not gold, it's water, it's a necessity. So I just ask everyone that needs to come get some water. And I also give out care packages also from the location, baby wipes, diapers, infant meal, no rinse shower stuff, all types of different things. That's about out. So if anyone wants to donate to the Bond nonprofit, then you can, so more people can receive. But on the other part of it, I lived in different places. I was also in the military, Marine Corps for a stint, and I've been all over the place. I lived in Georgia, lived in North Carolina, and I've seen gentrification from a third party, just being a visitor, staying for a while, and then moving on. And it looks like Flint. Gentrification looks just like Flint. I'm not going to put a color on it, but I will put a class on it. There is classes in Flint. White flight happened in 2008. It's a definition that you can look up in the dictionary if you don't know it. And that happened to this city. And for me, I don't understand why Flint got to that point. Why did the city so great? The reason why anybody driving any vehicle, whether you drive a Bugatti or Bentley or Buick, the technology came from here somewhere, somehow. General Motors, that was the collective of all of the knowledge of anybody that had anything to do with automobiles or any type of technology, to come to this city and say, we're going to do it. Charles Stewart Mott moved from the East Coast, New Jersey and New York area, to bring his family business here in order to start the foundations and the things that he started here. Because Flint, logistically, is the best city in this state, period. Anything you want to do, logistically, you can do it here in Flint. You can't do it anywhere else like you can do it in Flint. So the way that everything has been done, it's been done from a corporate standing. It's been done from a standing to say, look, corporately, we need to do this because economically in 20 years it's going to make sense. There's acceptable laws. You have acceptable laws. If we are the ones that have acceptable, I'm not moving, I'm not going anywhere. And whatever I have to learn, whatever I have to adapt to, whoever I have to protect as a citizen and as a resident of the city, I will do that. I will put my life on the line for any person in this city because we deserve the right to be safe. We deserve the right for clean water. We deserve the right for the things we pay taxes for. And so anybody that has a problem with that, I got a problem with you. So my thing is that if at all you all can get beyond the situation of politics and go inside yourselves and say, look, I have children. I have relatives that deal with different issues and I really do care. And forget about you have a job. Just say it's because of the human nature of things going on. I don't care if I lose my job. I'm going to stand on what's right. Do that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Blunt. Commissioners, any questions at all for those who just testified? Great. Commissioner Rezzio.
I was just wondering, from your other students, how many more have you seen suffering from what we suspect bees, lead, poison in the water at the school?
Really, I'm not in the position to say.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate your testimony. The next three who will be called up to be sworn in are
Abel Delgado, Sandra Jones, and Gina Luster. Try that one more time. Abel Delgado, Sandra Jones, Gina Luster. And Dr. Dwight Washington.
could you, Mr. Levy will swear you in, and could you state your name, and then we'll take your testimony. Thank you.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yeah, just because I called four names, you can let us know who you are.
Great. Thank you. Microphone is there, and please testify. Thank you.
Dr. Dwight Washington from Lansing, Michigan, and I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak and to address the committee. And I particularly want to thank those commissioner members who have asked thoughtful and engaging questions that really show that the citizens and communities, people who spoke tonight, that you do care. And I'll make my comments very short, and just to reiterate and make the point clear that the challenge of environmental justice as it's defined by the state of Michigan and the executive direction in 2007 and 23 is that environmental justice means the fair and non-discriminatory treatment and meaningful involvement of Michigan residents regarding the development, implementation, and enforcement of environmental laws, regulations, and policy by the state. The two pillars of environmental justice, those are the fair treatment of all people and providing meaningful public involvement in government decision-making. And then the EPA says it will be achieved, environmental justice will be achieved when everyone enjoys the same degree of protection from environmental and health hazards and equal access to the decision-making process to have a healthy environment to live, learn, and work. And it's clear from the testimonies that have been given today that environmental justice, that the citizens of Michigan, the development of environmental policies was not there, the involvement was not there, the implementation was not there, and the enforcement, and that's yet to be determined, and it really puts a lot of pressure on you all to make those decisions to help make sure that the enforcement is there so that there is not an entirety of lack of environmental justice. And I hope that through these comments that you've heard today that you will be able to find the truth and to be able to find reconciliation for the youth who are the true victims of this, who are not subject to politics, but are just subject to decisions that have been made. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Washington. Please state your name, please, for the record.
Gina Lester.
Thank you, Gina.
I kind of have a two-part statement question. First of all, I want to address, I am a parent. I'm a citizen of Flint. I have been lead poisoned, and so is my 8-year-old daughter. Since the beginning of this, all of these committees and attorneys and politicians and activists have been coming in, and I've been at all these meetings, including city council, kind of speaking for the children. My daughter and other parents that I know, we have not seen anyone from the state level, local level, come into the schools and speak with these kids. They're terrified. They don't understand what's going on. I don't understand what's going on. So one of the main things I would like and ask of you guys, because the children's civil rights have been violated as well as the parents, we need therapists in these schools like yesterday. My daughter is so screwed up in the head. She don't know if she's coming or going. She turns on cartoons, commercials are talking about Flint. You watch a show, they're talking about Flint. Law and Order is talking about Flint. Everybody's talking about Flint. These kids don't know what really is going on. They just think, she asked me, is she gonna live to see 21? She's lost hair, she's losing teeth. I mean, there's so many things going on with her. She doesn't understand what's going on with her body and her mind. I can't explain it. We need nurses back in all of our schools, public, private. Every school should have a nurse. I grew up with a nurse in my school. I think that is something that's been talked about. I've heard a lot of people say that, oh, we're going to get them back in there, but there's been no action. And now we're approaching 3 years. It's way too long. Kids who were in the 6th grade are now approaching high school. What are we going to do? Just open up a bunch of youth centers? Because they're all going to be screwed up. There's no doubt about that. There's behavioral problems every single day when I visit my daughter's classroom. It's just ridiculous. They're breaking windows, they're throwing pencils at the teacher. I mean, it's just out of control. Take the time one day, come in the Flint, sit in a classroom. Trust me, you'll see what's going on. And us as parents, we're dealing with it once we get them back home. The behavioral problems are just, you don't know what to do. You don't want to chastise them because it's something that they can't really control. They don't know what's going on. The second thing I want to speak about is, as being a parent and a concerned citizen, kind of taking it in my own hands. I'm tired of waiting on government to help me because no one has helped me. So there's been people who have reached out to me and my daughter because we have been to Washington, D.C. We have been to Lansing. This 8-year-old is at every city council meeting. I mean, she's getting to now where she knows everyone. But I just wanted to leave some information with you because we've been collecting money and donating these systems to our citizens ourselves. We're tired of waiting on you guys because no one's doing anything. So I want you to take a look at this. I'll leave you one. We also have straws because what are the kids going to do this summer? The bottled water that we get is going to be ruined because it's all been sitting outside for years and it's contaminated. So we've decided to take this matter in our own hands and give ourselves clean water. So hopefully you guys can put the pressure on these other guys who are dragging their feet, and let's get these pipes fixed and let's get something going besides talking. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lester. We appreciate that. Commissioners, any questions of Dr. Washington or Ms. Lindsay? If not, if you could please approach and just give us the material so we can make it part of the record, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you. Folks who are here, as of this moment, we have heard from those who have wanted to testify under audio or video, as was mentioned at the outset. These proceedings are being done with audio and video. I do want to have the record show that we did receive 3 additional testimonies that are written from folks that did not want to be videotaped, audio taped, and these will be included in the written record for what we're doing. So at this point, what I would like to do is, if we can take a 5-minute break. I believe, have folks from various state departments who will engage with the commission. They have follow-up information as it relates to many of the immediate needs or concerns that you have, and the commissioners, based on all of your testimony. And I have to say this, up until this point, I guess the privilege, if you will, of chairing this hearing is to hear from you. To hear your stories, to hear your passion, to hear your anger, to hear your hope, to see your tears, to kind of be the whipping post in many ways as the commission for your frustrations. It's been important, remarkable, and as we transition to being in a position to ask some questions of people from various state agencies who hopefully will be in a position to provide some immediate help or help very shortly. I think that you have a commission here when they took their oaths, because just like you were taking oaths, we all took an oath when we were all sworn in, and we do want to do the best we can with what we have to work with to be as helpful to all of you as we can. So with that, it is 6 minutes after 6, and if we could reconvene at about 6:11, 6:12, and in the meantime, we may have a little reconfiguration so that we can have a conversation with our state agency representatives. Thank you.
The king ordered his men into battle, and even though he was no longer acting in their best interest, they followed obediently. But what if they didn't? What if they just refused? What if selfish leaders got no support? What if people had the courage to stand up when something wasn't right? What if the government didn't just serve a lucky few? What if it was designed and run for all the people, no matter what race, color, or creed? What if we didn't put up with anything less? What if?
schools, no more books, no more teachers, dirty looks. School's out for summer.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%.
To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org because great things happen when we live united.
WFOV.
Why can't we?
Flint, Michigan.
Why not?
Our voices. Our voices. WFOV.
What would happen if we...
WFOV.
How many times have I said...
I've got the solution.
Not everybody's bad.
Why can't we work together?
WFOV.
Our voices.
Our voices.
WFOV. You know what the problem is?
I heard a guy on the radio. There's other
Our
communities.
voices. I like to hear it.
WFOV.
I heard.
WFOV.
What?
WFOV.
Our voices. 259-978 Flint's newest radio stations. Located right here in Flint, Michigan. The Good News Radio. If you're interested in getting involved, having your own show, or just supporting the station, give us a call at 259-9789. That's 259-9789. It's Our Voices. Located right here in Flint, Michigan. The Good News Radio. If you're interested in getting involved, having your own show, or just supporting the station, give us a call at 259-978.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.